Born on a cold January morning in 1967, Laura Jensen came into the world in Galesburg, Illinois. Adopted by a kind couple, Gary and Carol Jensen, she grew up surrounded by siblings and love. Laura wasn't just a bright student, she was a force of nature on the track, collecting trophies like medals of defiance. Running became her escape, her freedom. Years later, that same drive carried her across marathon finish lines, ranking among the top runners in St. Jude's and even qualifying for Boston's elite. In Dyersburg, Tennessee, Laura turned her passion into purpose, a personal trainer who lifted spirits as much as weights. Friends described her as radiant, someone whose warmth could turn strangers into family. But behind that glow, cracks began to form. In 1989, Laura married Daniel Reed. They built a home and had 4 children, Preston, Dustin, Ashley, and Keely. To outsiders, it looked perfect. Inside, it was fragile. After Daniel's affair and a brief separation, they remarried, but something had changed. Daniel grew controlling, jealous, calling her dozens of times, monitoring her every move. Friends said it was as if he couldn't stand the idea of Laura existing beyond his reach. By 2011, Laura was changing. She was rediscovering herself, confident, social, and ready to live again. She filed for divorce on October 10th, seeking half their home, custody of the children, and support. She even got a secret phone to speak privately with her lawyer after realizing Daniel was tracking her calls. Then came Halloween weekend. On October 29th, 2011, Laura went to a costume party dressed as Catwoman. Witnesses said she wasn't herself, quiet, uneasy. She left just before midnight and returned home after picking up her sick daughter from a sleepover. By 2 a.m., her phone connected to the home Wi-Fi. 2 hours later, it disconnected forever. At 5:04 a.m., her phone moved from the house, then went silent for good. The next morning, she was gone. Her white Nissan Murano was found abandoned a mile from home, tire shredded, doors locked, costume still inside. A screw had been placed in the tire at a perfect angle, too precise to be an accident. Her purse was missing. Both of her phones were found smashed nearby. Despite massive searches, helicopters, K9s, and hundreds of volunteers, there was no trace of her. 10 days later, someone broke into the local golf club. Only the security cameras were taken. The same cameras that could have shown what happened that Halloween night. 42 days after she vanished, a caretaker found a body hidden beneath vines near Bledsoe Cemetery, just 7 miles from her home. Dental records confirmed it was Laura. She had been struck in the head with devastating force. The autopsy showed no defensive wounds, no chance to fight back. It was sudden, brutal. Investigators searched the Reed home again and again. They found gallons of bleach outside the garage, but never tested it. Neighbors spoke of a chemical smell days after Laura disappeared. No blood, no DNA, no physical trace tied anyone to the murder. The evidence became a story of what might have happened. A screw placed deliberately. Phones destroyed. A voicemail accessed from inside the house hours after Laura vanished, by someone who knew her secret number. The only adult home that morning was Daniel. For years, whispers of small-town secrets spread. A man seen with a metal detector near the cemetery, claiming to look for a watch he was already wearing. Security cameras stolen. Witness statements ignored. Some believed powerful people wanted the truth buried. But time doesn't erase guilt. 11 years later, in 2022, Daniel Reed was arrested in Alabama and charged with first-degree murder. For Laura's family, especially her aging mother, it was the moment they'd waited over a decade to see. The trial began in May 2024. No DNA. No fingerprints. Only pieces, motive, means, and opportunity. Prosecutors said Daniel killed Laura in the garage, cleaned the scene with bleach, staged her car, and destroyed her phones. The defense countered with a simple message: no proof. They showed his knee injury, said he couldn't possibly move her body, called him a loving father. When the jury finally returned, the words felt like a storm breaking, not guilty. Not of murder, not of manslaughter. After 13 years, Laura's case returned to silence. But the questions refused to die. Who accessed her voicemail that morning? Why were the bleach jugs never tested? Who was the man in the cemetery? And why did investigators ignore witnesses who pointed his way? Laura's purse was never found. The murder weapon vanished. And somewhere in the gaps of time, in the silence between 2 a.m. and dawn, the truth slipped away. Her mother once said, "Someone took my baby and threw her away like she didn't matter." But Laura mattered. Her story still runs, like she once did, through every question that has no answer, through every night her children still wonder what really happened. And until those answers come, the Halloween murder of Laura Jensen will remain one of Tennessee's most haunting unsolved crimes. You've been watching Echoes of Betrayal, where every secret leaves a scar. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next story that still echoes in the dark.